No, 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 no! Fuck off, David! Fuck the Sacramento Police Department. This is the Current Game Podcast. My name is Charles Blades, and I am joined today by the milkmaid, Cheyenne Clark. How's it going?
Oh, dear Jesus. That's
I don't like that.
horrible.
She was milking him last night. Me and her, Caleb, were we on stream? I can't remember.
I don't remember. I don't think so.
But she was milking him last night. We got the potato himself, Aaron Weeks. How's it going, buddy?
It's good, but I have yet to see season 2 of The Good Place.
I gave you the
think
information.
It's your fault.
Did
you really?
Yeah.
All right, I somehow missed that text entirely.
I
So
texted
you're
you
my fault.
The Sling TV information that you can watch it on.
Oh, Brooklyn Nine-Nine also
Fantastic.
the newest season I think is on Hulu now.
Yeah, the new episode just came out.
Yep.
Or what? I got Chelsea Peretti back. She's done being pregnant, having Jordan Peele's baby, doing the Oscar stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, really? I didn't know.
Yeah, she's Jordan Peele's wife.
Yeah.
Sick.
For real?
I did not know that.
Get Out is about her.
Interesting.
Trophy Pops, Drew Scheffler. How's it going, buddy?
I got a new dad visor.
Oh yeah, you gonna throw that on? Sell me a used Toyota.
Beautiful.
You're looking
Good to
great.
go.
But it just
He
looks like a hat.
NASCAR announcer.
I know.
You
If
do
I
look
turn
like
it
it.
backwards.
Yeah.
Jimmy Johnson.
You're just nailing NASCAR drivers' names. HR McMaster severance package. David Morgan, how's it going, buddy?
I never really get these things that you're talking about.
He's the,
I'm good.
That one's over my head.
He
I don't
was
know.
the national security advisor that got fired this
yeah.
week, and now we're gonna go to war with Iran and North Korea. So we got a good show for you this week. Lots of big news, lots of big cool stories. The first story is about the Game Developers Conference, more specifically how unionization efforts have been going in regards to that. So this story comes from Kotaku and Jason Schreier, of course. He says, in a small room, I don't want to read the whole thing. Do I?
Please don't.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Don't read the whole
No,
fucking
I mean,
thing.
we
We
know
know
the
what
gist
we
of
get
it
the
is-
gist.
Yeah.
Video game developers are trying to unionize, and these efforts are being spearheaded at GDC, which, if you don't know, is a yearly developers conference game developers conference where they it's not like E3 where it's for the public and for like people getting hyped for trailers and stuff. It's for game developers to come together and kind of talk about things, what's going on in the industry, and one of the big subjects this year is of course unionization, which we saw a little bit of stuff from last year where we saw unionization efforts from the voice actors that had some pushback and stuff, and eventually that was settled. But I don't know. How do you guys feel about unionization in the games industry? I guess I'll start with Drew over there.
I think it's good. I think that it could really help the we'll get to a story later, but I think that it could help like not only like the developers and everything, but also like the less thought about people, the actual game designers and programmers and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I think they kind of get the short end of a stick in some situations, so could definitely help them. But I mean, to be honest, I don't know a whole lot about unionization, so I just I think that there's a lot of programmers that could probably benefit from it.
Sorry.
Cool, sure. Sorry, I'm
ahead.
just gonna jump in.
Go for it.
I think my understanding of how this would work is rather than them saying something like, "Oh, we're in a union now, so you can't fire us, and we can never work overtime, and crunch can't happen." It would be more like, "This is the salary floor. We're gonna get paid for overtime if we work it. Metacritic bonuses can't be a thing anymore." Just things like that. Things that would help the quality of life of being a employee in a big developer under a big publisher. My question is how this is going to affect indie devs, because I don't think they have a need to unionize, and I wonder how that's going to affect the way that they. If a video game union happened under big publishers, would indie developers feel more inclined to go and work for a big company because the pay and the work would be much easier, whereas right now it's kind of comparable. You look at like a Shovel Knight, like where they're killing themselves and making the game, to like a Naughty Dog where they're also killing themselves and making the game. If one of those is much easier, will we see less indie games? That's kind of my only like lingering question about all this.
So before I go to Cheyenne and Aaron, I don't know. So like the way Hollywood does unionization is that there's just one big union for all of Hollywood. And like the way a union could work in video games is like that, like where if you want to get like the way a union can work is like they could go to PlayStation and say, hey, if you sell a game, it has to be made by union workers, and like that could unionize the entire video game industry like that. Or you could do it on a studio by studio basis where, hey, we're Naughty Dog. We're employees of Naughty Dog, and we don't feel like we're being compensated fairly for the crunch we're putting in, or we don't agree with the Metacritic bonuses, or whatever their union demands would be. And they can do it like them, and that could like start a domino in effect of like, well, then EA Studios could unionize, and then.
Do you think that one of those is inherently better than the other?
I don't know. Better is the answer. But I think the more likely one is the studio by studio thing because it's a lot easier just to gain traction on a per studio basis. But in regards to indie games, I don't think necessarily like I don't know because indie movies still get made and there is like heavy unionization around movies. But that isn't the same as an indie game where like unionized or indie movies get made, but like indie movies like have a much higher budget than an indie game, like a lot of indie games. And like so it is different in some respects. So I don't know how it would necessarily affect.
The difference is indie movies still have studios behind them.
Yeah.
But I guess indie games still have public. It's weird. And yeah, I mean like an A24 is very much comparable to like a Devolver.
Yeah.
So I guess indie devs would have to just unionize under their publishers rather than under a studio.
And yeah, and of course the way unionizations. I know Cheyenne is a big fan of Scott Walker up there. She was leading the charge in the anti-unionization effort in Wisconsin back in 2014, 2013.
Yeah.
So she's against unions full stop. But what a lot of people like view as unions like Teamsters and stuff like that, where there's like these archaic bylaws and how union members have to work. Like you can only be on set for X amount of hours a day with a parent and like two witnesses at a time. And if all these criteria aren't met, then like you can't. But that's not how actual unions actually work outside of Hollywood, where there's these ridiculous things. Like normal unions are like, hey, we would like to get paid for working 20 hours of overtime a week.
Yeah.
Like that is how a normal union works. And so like that, I don't know. I'm very in favor of unions. Unions are good.
I am too.
Apparently, I'm not.
Yeah, I know you. Again, big Scott Walker. Big teachers unions, Cheyenne's against all public sector unions.
Totally.
Really.
Don't. Why would we pay teachers?
That's what I've always said. Aaron, how do you feel about paying teachers?
I think they shouldn't be paid. They should be armed. I think that we need to arm our teachers.
Great,
and
nailed
make
that
sure
segue.
Jesus.
Just fucking nailed. Knock that out of the park. But I don't know, Cheyenne and Aaron, do you guys have any thoughts that we haven't?
I mean,
talked about?
I'm not against unions at all. I think they're usually like a really good thing, and I want like game developers who work tons of overtime during crunch and like end up sleeping over at their workplace. I want them to be able to at least get paid enough to warrant
to be
going through such
basic human rights.
Right. But yeah, definitely, I think that's a good thing to address.
Yeah, it goes on farther in this article. They just one example they give. The Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick last year made $33 million, while the average game developer salary for his team was $83,000, which is nice money. But like, if you're working at Activision Blizzard, you're probably living in LA, which is like that money goes a lot less than
that is
true.
Much less of a divide than something like an Amazon.
Oh yeah, of course.
True.
And Amazon should unionize too. Like,
It's not okay, but it's
the way
not as-
another common criticism we hear about unions is that that makes it more expensive for consumers. If people unionize and they say, hey, instead of $83,000 a year, we want $125,000 a year, that cost has to go somewhere, and that makes games $75 now. Or there's more microtransactions. Or how about Bobby Kotick take a pay cut? Like I don't know.
That or just take it out of the fucking marketing budget.
Yeah, like there's
it's stupid how bloated it is. It's like
there's a bunch of other stuff.
There's many ways to do that than just making consumers pay more, but
and they wouldn't. People wouldn't pay
Capitalism.
more than $70 for a game.
Oh, I think they'll do whatever. Like we already do whatever. Like one thing.
I fucking don't.
You don't, but like the one thing
People do.
The Star Wars thing fucked everything up, but everybody else does whatever. Like they can do whatever they want. I feel like I don't know.
I mean, but you say we wouldn't pay $70 for what, a game? But I mean, we used to pay $40 and now it's 64.
Yeah. How many us's are there? How many people would just deal with it? And
Yeah, unless
If
they
Call of Duty
do
was $70,
physical-
it would do the same.
Well, if they did, that would always sell. But like if they did physical and digital media, digital at a discount, yes, they do sometimes. So
that's how it should be, because that is
Yeah.
the only way it makes sense. But whatever.
I mean, it makes sense from a publisher point of view to not do that, because then you don't have people. Then
you're splitting.
You,
yeah.
Well, you're well, the main reason is like if you charge $50 for a game on PSN, then like GameStop says, hey, people are not coming here. Now we're not going to give your console the like shelf space that, and people have to go to GameStop to buy a console, or Amazon, or whoever it may be.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's at least my view of things. Anyway, more business stuff we're talking about in this next story. Ubisoft ends its long-running battle with Vivendi after it buys out all the shares that Vivendi owned and puts an end to the hostile takeover threat. So there's been a long-running battle between Ubisoft, and this story comes from IGN. The long-running battle between Ubisoft and Vivendi has finally come to an end, with Vivendi agreeing to sell its entire stake in Ubisoft. The agreement stipulates that Vivendi will sell all of its shares to Ubisoft, which amounts to 27% of Ubisoft's share capital. And Ubisoft will buy all the shares, all the shares berries, sponsor us. All the shares owned by Vivendi, and Vivendi agrees not to acquire any shares in Ubisoft for the next 5 years. As part of this plan, Tencent, which is a Chinese social media and game development giant, they own a lot of stuff in Riot. I think they own. Do they own Bluepoint, who makes or Bluehole? What's it called? Who makes?
They have stock in Blizzard. They have stock.
Yeah,
in
they're
probably
very
Bluepoint.
huge. They
are like the fucking threat. And I
Yeah,
don't know why
it's
nobody
it's like
talks
low
about
key.
them.
It's very low key that they're just like taking over everything. But
They suck.
I don't know necessarily if they suck. They're just very like, it's like Amazon doesn't suck. I love using 2-Day Prime, but like
I mean, no, Vivendi uses like straight asset rips of the companies
Vivendi's
that own
terrible.
stock in.
Vivendi's just terrible. I'm
Or
saying,
sorry,
I'm talking about Tencent.
I meant Tencent. Tencent will like use straight asset flips from like publishers that it owns stock in to sell like Chinese versions, like knockoff.
China, I know
games.
they're
It's
really
like-
big, really big in China. Which all right. So anyway, this ends the years-long debate of whether Vivendi was going to overtake Ubisoft. If you don't know, Vivendi was the parent company until a few years ago of Activision Blizzard, and they kind of, when they bought Activision Blizzard was when Activision basically went like Activision became who they are when Vivendi bought them, if that makes sense. Where they started, they started doing all the Shrek Ever After. And,
They're the reason that Tony Hawk 5 happened.
and yeah, like that stuff, and also if you want to do the Blizzard side, they were there when Diablo 3 launched with the real money auction house and stuff like that, like, and a bunch of like kind of scummy practices. So I don't know. I think this is a good sign. I don't know if you guys have any opinions. If anyone wants to jump in there.
This is completely over my head. I don't understand anything about publicly traded companies and companies owning other companies. I am the largest dumbass when it comes to like the market and economy shit. So
Why
this
did
means
they-
nothing to me.
A hostile takeover just means that they would own more stock than any other single person that owns
right now.
Ubisoft
The
stock.
CEO of Ubisoft is Yves Guillemot. He owns 20%, but then he has the backing of all the other shareholders to make it up to 50% of the company. If in a hostile takeover, Vivendi would just be buying shareholders out, like just like giving them a price they can't refuse, like fucking Scarface or something.
To own like majority of companies.
To own the majority of the company,
Yeah.
and then
And
they
then
So
can
then-
they can be
they
like
can make
Guillemot.
calls?
Yeah, they can make calls, but that is
Yeah,
not.
so
and-
basically
okay,
it would
yeah.
be like, we give you
like-
this much money in terms of shares, so you should do what we say because we almost own you.
Yeah,
That-
ostensibly.
understandable.
Why did they sell their shares?
Because they made this agreement.
Yeah.
Why would they agree to it?
I don't know why.
It doesn't seem like a good deal for them.
I mean, I'm sure they bought the shares at X dollars
Above market
and
value.
And then
Maybe
Ubisoft
they
had
made
to
the
buy
money
them
they
back
wanted.
at like another above market value. Like is
Yeah.
what I would
Yeah.
assume happened.
I'm happy for Ubisoft. I mean, I know there's like been a big Ubisoft hate train going on the last few years. I think they're turning it around, but
Ever since Mario plus Rabbids, I think there's some potential there.
they got their heart back.
People
Yeah, I
like
like that.
Assassin's Creed Origins. People Far Cry.
Like David said, I think they got their heart back, and I think that shows in their games and everything. So it's really nice.
Cool.
Aaron, you got any Ubisoft games you're anticipating coming up?
No.
You're not getting Far Cry 5?
Well,
Come
yeah.
on, boy.
So Far
Okay,
Cry,
so
I
yes.
guess, is the,
That was
The one.
the segue I was trying to make.
I think Izugo Mon has the biggest public persona out of every big CEO. Like Bobby Kotick isn't fucking out there being like, "This is our game, and these are the guys who made it. I'm here with fucking Miyamoto." He seems to actually be out there and trying to like relate to people, even if it's like in an insidious way. But I think that it makes me just like inherently feel better about them and feel like they have more personality and more belief in themselves for it. So I'm happy. I'm happy for him, even if it's in like a weird celebrity kind of way. It's happy. It's good to see them get their company back.
Yep, I know exactly what you're trying to say. This next story might raise a few more eyebrows. This is less about the business side of things, more about games. Aaron, fucking hyped for games?
no.
All right. Well, this was about Nintendo Switch Nindies showcase that they do. I guess every year at GDC. I'm just gonna run through all the games, and we can just do them one by one. So like I'm gonna talk about the first game, and then we'll all anybody wants to talk. So Mark of the Ninja Remastered is coming out. Does it have a date? I guess it doesn't have a
Spring.
date.
Then none of them have
Spring.
dates.
No, none of them have dates. Spring.
None of them have dates.
Spring.
Uh,
Mark
well,
of the Ninja.
This says spring.
Yeah, spring. I think they have like windows.
Yeah, I don't
there,
think
you're
they
right.
have actual dates. Yeah.
I thought you were.
I've
saying,
never played that.
It came out on the 360 back in the day.
Heard it's great.
It's pretty cool. Any
Plan on playing.
Well, yeah, I played Shank and Shank 2, which is made by the same company.
Oh, cool.
Are those related to
Mark
the?
of the Ninja has like
I mean-
insanely good reviews.
It's not like the same. What are you saying? Is related?
I was gonna say, are they related to the Shanks in Destiny?
Oh no.
Is that what they're actually called, or what did Aaron call them?
You call them sharks.
Sharks.
I thought they
They're
were
called
sharks until like Destiny 2. I just didn't read the word correct.
It's all good. It's all good.
All right. After that, Fantasy Strike, which I think was the most who cares game I thought out
mean,
of all this.
to
It
be-
looks fine.
It looks fine though, which that's the only thing to note. I think.
Yeah, it looks fine.
decent.
Just Shapes and Beats kind of looks like Sound Shapes.
I'm hyped for that.
Right?
I
Yeah,
actually
I am too.
that was one of the games at last year's GDC. I saw footage of and I was like, I fucking want that, and I was waiting. That and like Watam, I thought I would never hear about again. I'm so happy to see that this is coming out this year.
Yeah, it calls itself a musical bullet hell, and it's coming to Switch
It
this
looks
summer.
so up my alley.
Looks really
I'm
good.
so excited.
Garage, which is a VHS.
I might say that Garage possibly looked worse than the.
Yeah,
fighting.
that is very true. That might be better than
there
the
was,
Fantasy.
and then in the video they're like, we can't show you the blood and gore.
Garage looks
But-
like a shittier Hotline Miami.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It didn't look that great.
It looks like a shittier Ruiner, which is even a bigger insult.
After that, Pool Panic, that's
I
coming
like-
out
I like the
later
art
this
style
year.
of
This
this.
That
is,
looks. I like that.
This is
Yeah,
the
it
I
goofy
like
one.
Pool Panic.
Cheyenne, I know you're a big billiards fan.
Oh yeah.
You familiar?
It looks
Play
like it's
'em-
made
play
by
'em in real life all the time.
Dan Harmon or something.
It
Right.
really does.
Yeah,
They
I
don't-
mean, it's like an Adult Swim thing, so.
It is, yeah. So I think he might have done some of the art, just like what is it?
Herbert
Accounting
inspired or-
Plus.
Accounting Plus, yeah.
Yeah.
That game looks pretty cool. Bomb Chicken, which is a platformer. It's got a cool like pixel art style. That's coming
I
out
like
later
that.
this summer. I thought that looked great.
Agreed.
Luminous Remastered. This is a PSP game that's fire that you should all get.
What is it?
It's like it's a
So-
puzzle game. It's like kind of
I consider it like a
Music-based
rhythm
puzzle
Tetris
game.
game.
yeah. That's what I was gonna say. Rhythm Tetris.
Does it have good music?
Yeah. I mean, from what I
I
remember.
mean, people.
Better.
Yeah, but people really like this game.
It
I've
looks
tried it.
stylish.
I'm not too good at it.
it was really good on Vita. I can't remember.
It is Tetris.
Yeah, but with like you have to like I don't know. Like you'll see
What's the gimmick?
the music, the
Rhythm.
rhythm aspect. Like
I
the
see a
way
little line going across the screen.
the
Yeah,
way
it's like beats.
the way the shapes like drop down is like
Mm-hmm.
in the beat of a song, and different like levels have different songs that like so it's not like on Tetris like the Tetris box like slowly just go faster. Like in this one, like the song will speed up or slow down depending on like how fast. So there's like different segments to it. It's really cool. You should check it out.
I see. This is Greg Miller reviewing it.
Oh, is it really?
he gave it a 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw Game Over Greggy as the gamer or the PlayStation username. I was
That's
like, what?
Next is Reigns Kings and Queens. This was originally a mobile game, but it was Range Kings, and then it was like Reigns Her Majesty or something was the
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like 2 games.
Yeah, so it's basically 2 games in one, and it's a co-op multiplayer game launching this spring. Cheyenne, you trying to say something about it?
No, I just think it's cute. I probably would have played it on mobile. It's like
Devolver.
Tinder, like you,
Yeah, it's
It is
Tinder for
Devolver.
Kings.
I mean,
very
it's this game, I have it on my iPhone. It's fun. I don't know if that's what I was looking for from Devolver
Yeah.
necessarily. I think
Yeah.
that
Well,
they have.
it's just they publish.
Well, not
everything
even.
that-
Yeah, I know, but like just saying like from them as a publisher, like they have a lot of other games that they're publishing right now that I would like
Yeah.
look forward to more so playing
Yeah.
on the Switch than like this little swipe right or left game.
Yeah.
Speaking
like-
of which, another big announcement that came out of this. It wasn't at the direct, but Messenger is coming to Switch.
Yeah, we're coming up on it, bro. Calm down.
Was that in the thing? I didn't know.
I mean, scroll down. It's like three
did
more
they
down.
did they publish that though?
Who,
'Cause they've been-
Devolver?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Okay, they might be doing the marketing.
No, the messenger was in this.
Yeah, it's like 2 or 3 down. Lightfall
Yeah, okay.
is like a super fast-paced platformer. It's coming out this spring. A bunch of these are also timed exclusives, which I think is a big deal.
Yeah.
I thought this one looked really cool. Kind of like has like an Ori and the Blind Forest type art style, I think.
I'm kind of like,
But like
tired of
mixed
those games.
mixed with End is Nigh, I think kind of is what I thought
Yeah.
the art style looked like.
Yeah.
West of Loathing is this really cool. I don't know. It's like an RPG, but with like puzzles and stuff and like turn-based.
It's an
combat.
RPG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
It's like Paper Mario.
but the art style is like all like stick figures, which I thought
Yeah.
was really cool.
It's really funny.
It is. It's funny.
like, super well
like
written.
Wild West stick figure RPG. It's cool.
Yeah. Highly recommend it.
After that
Definitely
is
pick it up.
Pode, which
I
is a
think it's
co-op.
Poda, or
Is it
Poda.
Poda?
Code.
I think it's
Pode.
Pone.
Whatever, I don't know. this one.
I think it might be Puda actually.
Actually, you know what? Yeah,
I
you're. It's
think it's Puda.
no, it's Norwegian.
It's
so
Pode.
whatever.
All right, so Pode
No,
is
it's Puerto Rican.
Pode.
Is it?
No, it's Norwegian.
I think.
It says
Oh,
inspired
well,
by
it's
Norwegian art
inspired
and
by
culture.
Yeah,
My
it's
bad.
inspired by Norwegian.
It could
art.
be made by Puerto Rico.
I don't know.
Just say what you
Okay.
want. We could butcher.
All right, Aaron, you're the official judge. What is the name?
Pue Day.
Puede.
Day.
Coming out this spring. It reminds me of Ibn Ob, which if you don't know, Ibn Ob is fire. That is
We tried to play that. It's
the,
so hard.
The #1 game to ruin your relationship.
It's so
It is
hard.
incredibly frustrating.
Did
This
you play it
game-
with Cheyenne?
This game is
Yeah.
so cute though.
And it's just like oh my god, it's
That looks
insane.
really cute.
After that, the Messenger, which is what is the old not Contra? What's the fucking
Ninja
Gaiden?
Gaiden looking side scroller?
Devolver did publish. It's made by Sabotage, which I think this might be their first game.
Yeah, it looks really cool. It like has interesting mechanics. It reminds me kind of the way jumping and stuff works to Celeste, where there's no double jump in the game. Like I watched the Let's Play of it, and and like you bounce off like stuff that you have to like hit and then jump up again. Like I don't know, it looked really.
It
cool.
looks like Spectre of Torment from
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah,
reminds me
Shovel
of
Knight's
that.
another good example. Bad North.
Aaron.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was gonna ask Aaron if he was gonna play that because it looks like something he might enjoy.
And I was actually
Messenger.
just thinking it looks really cool. That and West of Loathing are my two. And
I think you'd like West of Loathing too.
Paw Day are my favorites of
You
the
mean
ones I've seen so far.
Pewed?
Cute ass.
Pewed.
So
Fuck off.
Pod, West of Loathing, and Messenger are
Ba-
my top 3.
Bad
so
North
far.
is a strategy roguelike. Is it? It's roguelike, not roguelite. I don't like.
Rogue like is like literally like Rogue. Rogue Light is just you die and you restart. I like Rogue Light more.
So
because I-
roguelite is like the fucking galactic,
the broad.
not galactic.
That's
range.
like saying that's like calling. It's like calling PUBG a shooter instead of a battle royale. Like PUBG
Okay,
is
alright,
a battle
okay,
royale,
alright.
but Call of Duty is not a battle royale.
Alright,
It's a
I
shooter.
understand. It's tactical. I think the art style looks cool. It reminded me of what is that fucking the mobile game? Monument Valley. The art style kind of.
Yeah,
That's what I thought of.
this looks cute.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
That's coming out this summer. And then last but not least, the Banner Saga 3 was announced. It is coming later this year. And also Banner Saga 1 and 2 are both coming on to Switch soon. Was the
Yes.
they gave, which is
I have not played any of those games.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
I
probably
played
gonna
the
pick up all 3 of them. The story carries, right?
Yeah,
yes.
it does.
There are choices. I played the first one. It's fucking fire. It's
Okay.
really good. And it
Why
like
didn't you play
good
the
things.
second one?
it was like it came out at a weird time and I just never got around to it. And then it was like free on Xbox. So I was like, well, I'll wait till it's free on PlayStation. It'll be eventually.
Oh,
And it just never
Gotcha.
did. But
gotcha.
so my personal like most hype moment for this thing is Banner Saga for sure. I want to know, Aaron, you were saying if you had to pick one, which of these would you say you're most hyped for?
Probably West of Loathing with like Messenger is a close second.
Cheyenne.
I also would choose West of Loathing.
What about you, Drew?
I know less about West of Loathing. I mean, I'm excited for all of them. Honestly, I think that this, for once, like everything looks pretty solid.
Yeah.
But
after this, I'm sorry to interrupt you. After this, Hyperlight Drifter got announced for Switch, and
Got tweeted.
something else. There was another one that
I pulled it up, okay, because I was gonna say that.
Oh,
but
sorry.
I didn't tell you that.
You go for it, my bad.
Literally like 30 minutes after the this little Nindies showcase, there's Hyperlight Drifter, Nidhogg 2, and Ark Survival Evolved have all been announced.
Yeah, those
for
are all
the
big
Was
Switch.
Fury announced after this, or was it before this?
Fury was
Fury's
before
already out
this,
on the
too.
Switch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why the fuck would you put Ark on the Switch?
I don't know.
Sell
like,
money.
Also,
it doesn't run already on anything.
right, but
Why did they put PUBG on mobile?
But the question is still like whether it would run. Period, or there's still like a fan base there. Like those 3 games are things that should have been. I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying I like it. I'm just saying like these three.
Hyperlight Drifter easily should have been.
Yeah, all 3 of these games should have been announced at the Nindies showcase as well. I feel like. And brought more.
I understand. I guess the reason they didn't is probably because they all are already out and they're just ports of things. Whereas these games,
they focused on
they
new
focus on
content,
stuff that is coming out new, like
which I very much appreciated.
I know, David.
Yeah.
Well, what was your favorite, Drew?
The one game that we can't pronounce, I thought looked pretty good.
Podak?
And the Badland thing.
Badlands?
Bad North?
Bad North.
Oh, the turn-based.
Oh, it's like Patapon.
Yeah,
it's not turn-based, is it?
I thought it was or real time. I meant real time. Yeah, you're right. It is.
Yeah, it looks like Patapon or something, or Pikmin.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Pikmin. David, what about you?
Definitely the Messenger. I'm super hyped for that game. That game looks like it could be like Shovel Knight tier, like amazing.
It does look really cool. It has the cool parallax scrolling.
It's also really funny. Like it's written really self-aware,
Oh, really?
which I really appreciate. Yeah, like at one point, like the shopkeeper like gives him this big exposition, and he's like, "That's way too much dialogue for one message box." It was just it was cute. So I'm excited.
Yeah, no, I said parallax scrolling. I recently learned what that actually meant. I've been saying it for years, just throwing it out there left and right, and I recently learned that it's like different layers and how things work. I didn't know that. Anyway, that brings us to quick hits. We're talking about the Switch even more. Nintendo put out a press release. This comes from GameSpot. Switch is currently becoming a huge success for Nintendo since its launch last year. Not only has the console broken hardware and software sales records for the company, it also proved to be beneficial for third parties, with indie games in particular performing exceptionally well on the platform. Nintendo released a top 10 best-selling indie games on Switch to date that comprised of, in no particular order, Stardew Valley, Enter the Gungeon, Overcooked, Shovel Knight, it says among others.
The list is up.
Oh, I'm dumb. Celeste, Fast Remix, Golf Story, Kimiko?
Yeah.
Is that how you say?
Yeah, that's right.
NBA Playgrounds, and SteamWorld Dig 2.
No Rocket League.
No Rocket League, yes, that is very true.
Surprising.
But what do you guys make of this list?
Not surprised.
I think those are games that fit really well on the Switch.
Yep, I don't think any of these games, well, except for NBA Playgrounds, but like I think all the games that, I mean, seeing Celeste up there is no surprise at all. Like David said, they all run really well. I'm surprised this Kimiko game is still floating around up there.
I did not like that game when I played it.
What? I don't even know what
still
that
haven't
is.
played it, but it's only like, I mean, it's like $5, but like, there's so many other things you could be playing on the Switch.
You can't move like diagonally, which is like a massive problem for a game like that.
You said you moved
you
diagonally?
mentioned that. You shoot diagonally.
Oh, okay.
You can't shoot
Oh,
diagonally.
I do remember this game.
Yeah.
I feel like the reason
You
this
can't
one...
move or I mean you can move you're right, but you can't shoot diagonally, which is like not okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like this one, the big thing about that... What, you can't move... Can you shoot diagonally in Isaac?
Wait, what?
Can you shoot...
cut out.
Can you shoot diagonally in Isaac?
No.
If you have a pickup,
On this.
yeah. You got like some
You
pickups
can't,
and
so
stuff.
like I understand that gameplay, and I think it
I was
would
just
work.
curious. I didn't know.
Maybe I'm just bad at this type of
it-
games then, but I
really-
I did not.
I'm really bad at Isaac.
balances the game a lot better when you can only shoot in cardinal directions, because just it makes it way easier to program attacks that are unique and fun to dodge and things. I probably wouldn't have that much of a problem with it. I heard more about like it just being kind of
It was fun. Like
the
I don't
whole,
know. I did not have fun with it. I thought it was kind of boring. There's like not a lot to do. Also,
That's
I
what I
didn't like
heard.
that you couldn't shoot diagonally.
That's fair.
But apparently that's like a thing for those type of games.
It's kind of common, yeah.
Yeah. The other one is I still haven't played it, but I really want to. And the NVC podcast this week, last week, they talked to one of the devs for SteamWorld Dig 2. I played the first one, so.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I know that it runs well, and like I enjoyed the first SteamWorld. I mean, so just seeing that up there and him talking about it.
Did you play it?
The second one, no.
You should.
It's completely different than the first game, right? Am I mistaken?
No,
Oh,
I
it's
don't-
like the same.
I don't think so. It's just way better.
Okay.
It's way better.
what I've
Yeah, that's
heard.
what it is.
What
Like-
isn't there?
I
Is there
thought it was
something like
fantastic.
SteamWorld Heist? Is that a different thing?
Yeah, SteamWorld
Yeah,
Heist
that
is
is the
different.
Okay,
different.
okay, my
It's
bad.
like a yeah.
Alright, maybe I'm-
yeah. It's also good though.
Okay.
And it's also
Yeah.
on Switch.
Next story, more about Nintendo. Nintendo will hold a Smash Brothers Switch tournament in June. So the debut of Smash Brothers Switch will finally be coming. It's finally within spitting distance. This story's from Kotaku. On June 11th through the 12th, Nintendo will host a Smash Brothers tournament at E3, where invited players will compete at the recently announced title. At the same time, Nintendo's Splatoon 2 World Championship will take place, featuring the top teams from Canada, Europe, Australia, and Japan. I know none of us are really big into the fighting game scene, or like, I mean, I know who like some of this. I know Zero is a person, right? In the
Yeah,
Smash
he
Brothers.
sucks now.
Oh, is he not good anymore? I just remember
It's
him
like
being,
really funny. Yeah, he's like
him being
not
really
at
good.
all.
But I know none of us really care about that. The bigger news here is that we're going to see some Smash Brothers Switch something in June. Is that too?
How like salty is everyone gonna be when it's a port?
There's no way.
I feel like that would
a
not be
port.
okay at this point.
There
It's
was
not
a
gonna be
thing
ported.
that who does, is it Sakurai?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
He said that he's been working on this since the last one came out.
Okay.
So-
Well, I don't think it will be, but like, what if it was?
I mean, I don't. Yeah.
Honestly, I
mean,
would be
if
okay with it,
was-
but that would be shitty after.
I would not be okay with it. I would literally be like,
As upset as I would be, I would. Still
I would
buy
buy it, yeah. But like,
we would all probably.
there is
still
no
buy it,
way
but-
it's a port.
and I would still play hundreds of hours of it probably.
But I mean, I'll make sure that everybody's like keeps their expectations in check, because like
If it's,
it's
not,
not gonna look that different.
I
But
don't. That's fine.
It's not gonna look that different. Maybe
Frankly,
some
I
of the
hope they
stages-
don't change that much, because I think the last iteration of Smash was the best that we've had so far. And I'm afraid that if we try too hard to make some kind of new crazy fucking iteration this time, then we're
Yeah.
gonna.
they won't. They'll stick to the formula. They know what works.
That's
I
like
wanna- I wanna
that's the
start-
meme. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. What's the meme?
The meme is like I want everything from the Wii version of Smash to stay exactly the same. Add all these all new characters. Fix everything that was wrong with Wii U and Goku. Is like that's the meme for like Smash.
Everybody wants them to like bring back like wave dashing and like Z canceling and shit. Like just
Or
don't.
bring
Like,
back
I just want to bring
I
back.
think Wii U is like pinnacle Smash.
I want tripping, man.
Okay.
That's all I want. Man. You know?
Well, what I wanted to while we're on the topic.
I don't
of
understand
Smash
that
real
joke,
quick,
but I know people don't like it.
the kind of floating around is because we don't like. I mean, you know it's a Smash, but we don't know like if it's a new one what their plan is. And normally it takes a pretty long time for a new Smash to come out, and even if he's been working on it since the Wii U one, that's not. I don't know. That's not.
They
a whole lot
normally
of
have
time
like
for him.
5 to 6 year development cycles. Don't they?
Right. So
No, that's somebody charted it out. That's like a totally normal average amount of time for them to. What is that?
that's me licking a knife telling
Yeah,
you let's
he's-
go.
yeah.
You don't. It's on the group Snapchat.
It's like a normal amount of time for a Smash to be in development.
No. But
according
what
to
I'm wanting to bring up is, in order to avoid the absolute time crunch that Sakurai would have, there's been some people like some things thrown around that a Smash would become a games as service.
No.
Where,
they won't do that.
but it's all the hit right now. You got Overwatch.
I mean, it kind of already is though, because they release characters.
Right, but what they're saying is like initially to get the game out to get started, you get 12 characters, and then hold on,
That would never happen.
I'm literally telling you what people are talking about that are way bigger than
That's fair. I'm not like.
Okay,
I'm just saying.
So,
like,
right,
They are
but just
morons.
like 12 characters or whatever, and then it's like every month you get a new character.
I would be okay with like a drip feed of characters, but like if they only started you with 12, that would be a fucking like.
That'd be like
There-
playing the N64 one. Again.
There would be outrage like that. There's no way.
I mean, I'm just throwing it out there because games of service is pretty popular. And
It
Nintendo
is.
is not
You see
the
success in it.
company that you can expect to follow trends though. Like that would kill them to start just following whatever. the
As a
crowd was.
creative, I feel like they wouldn't do that. They're
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. I hope that that's not the case, and I don't want that. But
I don't know where you heard that. That has got to be just total bullshit.
I mean, that's just speculation. It's not like
There
mean,
is
it's
there are solid
speculation.
rumors though that we're gonna see this Smash before holiday of this year, because they're gonna
Well,
want to
you
release
better
it
hope
before
so.
Red
like
Dead.
the Christmas Black Friday like.
I think,
it can't come as
Smash
like-
Wii U came out in September, the year that.
I
came
wouldn't
out,
be surprised
so-
if we saw this in September.
Right,
Yeah.
so they're gonna want to drop it like before Black Friday sales.
Yeah, it's not gonna be out before the tournament. You'll see it at the tournament, and then maybe at the tournament they'll announce.
I bet
the
we get a
release
date. Yeah, at E3. Cheyenne, what is the date for Smash? Are you gonna play this one?
No,
No, you just no interest.
not with you guys.
No,
I am, because I'm the worst now, and it like really bugs me.
you
No,
are.
You're
I'm
not.
No,
sorry.
Drew's
Really
better.
not.
You're better than Drew. Yeah, you're better than Drew.
I don't know.
I think you are. I'm better
Better than
you.
Caleb.
Probably are.
Caleb's like
It
pretty
will-
good now though.
It'll come out on September
11th.
18th.
Nice joke, Drew.
Yeah. Also,
That
my
is a
brother's
Tuesday,
birthday.
though.
The 11th?
That is a Tuesday.
It'll be like the-
September
it'll-
11th,
Oh, yeah.
2018.
No.
It'll be
Never
like
get
it'll be
it.
like the Blueprint. Jay-Z's album dropped on 9/11, like the actual 9/11.
I bet it comes out in October or November.
Yeah. There's no way
Waiting-
in November.
It's waiting too long. I feel like.
even
Like,
though-
even September. Honestly, even September's pushing it. Like to have just announced it. I don't know.
When
And
did
knowing
Splatoon come out?
The summer.
I feel like that could be like a
Like June,
indicator,
July, I think.
Yeah, for it. But yeah, even though like Red Dead's not on the Switch, like I feel like just everything in the gaming sphere has to just go as far away from Red Dead as possible. So like,
I would
The
be
earlier
very
they get it
interested.
out, the
I would be very interested to
What-
see Smash Bros. Now, I mean, I know that it wouldn't win, but I'd be interested to see sales numbers of like Smash and Red Dead just in comparison. Like,
Red
they
Dead
came
would
out.
destroy it. I feel like.
Oh no. I get that. I wasn't saying that Smash.
Yeah,
would win. I was
yeah, but
just
you're-
interested to see what the numbers would be.
I just can't wait to magnesis your dicks off with Breath of the Wild Link. Who's
Oh,
gonna be in the new
okay. So this
Smash.
motherfucker's.
He
already
better not
talking
be a
shit.
fucking new character. That's so dumb.
I guarantee he will be, and I guarantee
There
I'll
should-
beat you
there'll
in
be
it.
Well,
three
they'll-
links.
So wait, you're gonna get OG Link, Wind
Toon
Waker
Link.
Link, Breath of the Wild Link.
I'll be
There-
Might as
fucking.
well just
Okay,
throw
but
us all
like,
of them.
there's 75 fucking Fire Emblem characters. so
They're all
who cares?
different people, though. I mean, like.
No, they're not.
Barely.
Lucina and Marth are the same character.
I mean,
They're like
But they're
Lucina,
actually- I mean,
Roy
they-
and
they
Marth are
fight
all
Not
the same
saying that
character.
they're like they don't have the same moveset, but they're actually different things. Link is just one character. Three
I'm gonna
different.
kick your
Wrong.
Art's ass
No,
is,
Link and fucking Toon Link have
I'm not
just as
saying
much
they don't-
difference
they
as
don't-
Lucina and Marth.
I'm not saying that they don't play differently. I'm just saying they are like actually the same person.
All right, that's
They-
fair.
That is.
I mean,
what
technically they're
It's-
not. Like you're still wrong.
mean,
but
they're
like
kind
Okay,
of-
no,
but
we're not.
you
We're
understand
not
what I'm trying to
diving
say.
in the Zelda lore here.
I'm
Yeah,
not. I'm
like,
not.
you're,
I'm
you're
not here to
wrong,
make
but
the
like I
timeline.
get what you're saying.
Yes.
Well, the CCJ, there was a giant flood, and then they went back in time, and there's this one Link, and
Noah.
then this other Link. Yep. Mm-hmm.
His arc
Yep.
with the flood. This next story is just a really quick one. Sea of Thieves has a day one patch, and it's an eye patch. This was adorable.
Did you guys pick that up when we streamed?
No, I didn't. I didn't know how to do
I
it.
did.
It was very
You
unintuitive. It didn't.
The
didn't
stream
make-
you guys deleted from the channel.
No,
It's
it's
still
still
there.
on there. It's still on there.
I think there's one
Oh,
that's like
is it?
3
Okay.
seconds long, and that's when I didn't
Drew,
realize
yeah,
they put
I
the stream
deleted it.
code
I
in,
deleted it.
and,
That's what it was.
I started streaming for 3 seconds. So.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. But I thought this was cute.
That was a good stream though. I watched the beginning of it. That was a good one.
Oh, thank you.
The beginning was funny.
We grew more
Fucking
and more
sunk
like what
your
the fuck
ship,
is
like,
happening in this.
three
You guys
Nice.
sank 2 ships in like 20 minutes, so that was fun to watch.
We did do that.
We got better.
We
got
didn't
better.
sink the third ship, did we?
I
didn't make it to
didn't
the
get
third
that
ship.
far, but like I saw you sink 2 of them.
I don't
And then
think we
had
didn't
to
sink.
work.
pretty low.
We were partying. Bobby was fucking skirting, dude. He
I mean, fuck, did we sink
Also,
another
Bobby
ship
was the
after that
worst choice
second
of
one?
person to host.
yeah,
Yeah.
we really fucked that
Yeah,
up, making him.
There was like a 10-minute period where he was just trying to figure out how to walk across a bridge, and like
Oh no.
fell underneath of it
Yeah.
and was like, "I'm stuck."
Well, we made him drive the boat the whole time, so like the entire stream is just the sails in his face, so he can't see anything. We
Yeah.
really fucked it. We didn't think about that.
That
Fuck
game
that
was
up.
really fun for like
I wish I had played
An
it. I'm
hour?
bummed.
It was really fun the whole time. It's just we accomplished nothing, and that like sucks.
it will get. There's no way it lasts.
Every
for
review I read
anything.
was saying that like basically the fun part of it is figuring out how to play it, but once you like get good at it, there's
It's
nothing
terrible,
to
yeah.
do.
Like I really had fun like when we were yelling at each other like on the ship like we're leaking and like fucking somebody's got to go down there. It's like how do I get the planks? I don't know how to fucking
Right,
do it.
and that part
Yeah.
of it is fucking magic. Like
Yeah.
learning how to like work with your team and like sail this boat and patch these holes and fucking how to fight like other ships that are coming up and attacking you.
That was
like,
all when we first saw
learning
our
how
first
to
ship.
like
That was
survive in this world is like incredible, but once you learn how to do that and there's nothing new happening, the game's over.
Also, everything except sailing feels like garbage.
Oh,
Yeah,
the combat.
I heard the
Like,
combat
combat
is
is
terrible.
fucking awful.
dude, I would
And like
rather-
all of the new guns you get are purely cosmetic. There's no upgrades to
Yeah,
your
no,
power
no.
Like
guns.
what did they do for 5 years?
Yeah, dude.
5 fucking
They developed
years
this
on this
procedurally
shit.
generated world, but didn't add
It's not
any
procedurally
missions.
generated.
It's
or
not
combat.
procedural.
It's not.
It's
It's
not?
not. It's a fixed
Yeah,
map.
it's like
no,
a-
it's not even that big.
It's pretty big. I know it's pretty. We
kind of
we went to like one
Alright.
set of aisles, but like
But
I
to be
stand
fair, how
corrected.
long
I don't
did we
know what the
stream for,
fuck
like-
It's a fucking tech demo.
We streamed for almost 2 hours, and we saw 2 ships, and everybody ran from us.
oh
This
yeah,
is No
dude.
Man's Sky
We
again,
were
dude.
fucking down it, but I was saying the combat feels worse than Fortnite on mobile in this fucking game. It's egregiously terrible for no reason.
Especially coming straight from Vermintide 2, I was like,
Yeah.
I cannot fucking deal
Yeah,
with
no,
this.
like, yeah.
I will not be able to play Skyrim again. I will not be able to play, like,
What about
that game fucking
What about
ruined
The
me.
Witcher? Man?
It's, I mean, that's different.
Witcher
It's
had-
third person.
Oh, okay.
but
I guess that's true.
Also, that combat's not that good, but that's not why
I thought The
play
Witcher
it.
was solid combat.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I like it.
You're in the minority, I think, on that
I
one.
think it's like solid. I think
What it is, like, how many third-person RPGs have you played?
I mean, all the FromSoft games are better. Like, Zelda feels better to play. Like, there's tons
Wind
of
Waker's
better
combat, or not
systems.
Wind Waker, Breath of the Wild's combat not doing it for me. I hated that combat.
Breath of the Wild. I think it feels better than Witcher. I just think Witcher's just, I don't know, it's fine. It's
I think Witcher's
serviceable.
combat's
It's not,
deeper than those games.
my
Like,
point
there's more
was
to-
first-person combat is melee combat's going to be ruined from
Because of
because no one's going to try that hard ever again. Like, it's sad, but
Cool. This story comes from The Verge. It's about EA has started training AI players in Battlefield 1. Term AI has been used around video games since their inception, but it rarely means true artificial intelligence. Instead, it's a generic term to describe pre-programmed opponents or characters that feigns intelligence, but is really just following a narrow set of instructions. At GDC today, EA announced that they have been training AI agents in 2016's World War I shooter Battlefield 1. The company says it's the first time that this sort of work has been done in a high-budget AAA title. But more importantly, it says the methods it's developing will help improve further games, providing tougher, more realistic enemies for human players and giving developers new ways to debug their software. So what do you think about robots playing Battlefield, Cheyenne?
That's neat. I'm not gonna
Insightful
play
commentary.
Battlefield, so like,
So you don't need to
I don't know.
worry about the robots smurfing.
I mean, I guess like in the future, being used for games that I give a shit about, that might be cool. Just improving AI in general, and just letting the AI destroy the human race. I'm cool with that.
Are we closer to the singularity because of this, Aaron?
I hope so. Yeah, that's my hope.
Can we consider fully realized AI? Are they considered people?
I don't know, David
No.
Cage, are they?
no, because that's just the Chinese room. Like, no, never in a million
Why
years.
not, though?
Yeah, they are.
Because no,
They definitely are.
Oh my god.
This
this
is
is not what makes consciousness work.
that is exactly what makes consciousness work.
I mean, yeah. If it's of like fully realized self-aware intelligence, then what makes it any different than you or me?
Because go look up the Chinese room thought experiment and get back to me.
Explain it to us. We have time.
It's like it's like a guy. It's pretty simple. It's
Are you
like
trying
if
to tell
there
me
was
that
a
ED's
room.
not real, dude?
If there was a room, and this is like the brain of an AI, how it would work if it was like fully
So
functional.
there's a room.
And there's a room and there's a guy inside of it. And on one end of the room there's a slot, and on the other end of the room there's a slot.
There's a
So
what?
somebody
Hold on, you
passes
broke
in
up. There's a
slots. There's two
Slot.
slots.
Right,
Somebody
slots.
passes in a piece of paper. He can't read it. He doesn't understand what's on the piece of paper. That would be symbolic of like an AI hearing something. Okay, he sees the piece of paper and it has a bunch of symbols on it that tell him what to write down on the other piece of paper. He does it without realizing why he's doing it, and then he passes it out through the other slot, and that's like the AI talking. The AI will never it will never have the same level of consciousness to like comprehend why it's doing things, even though outwardly it will appear as though it is a fully functioning, self-aware, conscious being. And that is the problem of the Chinese room, is because there's no way for you to even tell if I am self-aware, because I'm outwardly seeming like I am, that an AI, even if you think it is, you'll never know.
So isn't that
And
just
we'll never actually
Isn't that just an argument like against like there's no like freedom of choice or anything like that? Like
That seems
I don't
like
think it's
some
that.
fucking like I don't know, dude. That's like even though you might believe that they're real and that they can think, they can't really. So don't worry about it. Let's just destroy.
Well, I mean,
it.
it's just. I mean, that's not what I was saying. It's just that you'll never, because you can't like tangibly observe consciousness and like the act of conscious thought. It can never be proven even though all of the signs are there that it's happening.
Well, can't that argument be used like both ways though? Like, because we can't tangibly prove it either way, then can we really like?
I mean, that's why it's a thought experiment. Like, that's why it's like an older than fucking time thing that people talk about. Like,
AI
I don't
dilemma,
know.
dude. It's like the most fun argument to have.
So in this like room, the robot would be saying, like, if he could speak, he'd be like, "You're tearing me apart."
Fuck off.
Yep.
That's what the robot would be saying.
Are they gonna put these AI into the school shooting game that they made? That's what they
arm
should
our AI. Put the AI.
That's
in
what
the
they
league.
should do.
Teach our kids with AI.
The only thing to stop a bad guy with a gun is an AI with a gun. The next story is about the U.S. Navy. Speaking of bad guys with guns, the U.S. Navy has a new submarine that is partially operated by using an Xbox 360 controller. And my biggest question here is, why didn't they use the GameCube controller? We've all
because they haven't played Smash Brothers.
We've
and they're bad,
all
dude.
decided it's the best sticks, right, Drew?
Yeah.
So then why aren't we using it?
Where's their fucking wave bird?
Because
dude? They fucked up.
Because you look at it this way: when is our government or military made that many good decisions? They had.
They made the
You know
internet.
what I'm saying?
Why the fuck were they using $38,000 joysticks?
Apparently, the Navy has switched to the $40 Xbox 360 controllers because they're cheap, easy to replace, and require less training than the $38,000 joystick.
They were just trying to get
used.
the advanced Xbox Elite controller. You know what I'm saying?
Why is a controller $38,000 if its entire functionality can be simplified into a fucking Xbox 360 controller? How many
'Cause
buttons
we
were on
like
that?
to
Like
give
10?
money to the military, and they spend it on shit like joystick controllers.
They can't even develop a fucking better controller than Microsoft, and they probably have fucking aliens somewhere in a fucking lab. All right, guys.
Are the aliens
Thing.
conscious? Is the real question. If you pass a slot
Jesus.
into them, do they slot
You guys
out?
don't even know. The fucking Navy has footage of alien crafts just hovering over
Okay,
the
all right.
ocean that
Next
they
topic.
released.
We're leaving.
This is true. No, listen to me. You don't cut
Sound
me
a little
off.
bit
Everybody
crazy.
thinks their shit is true, dude.
Sorry, you sound a little bit crazy there.
No, it's true. The fucking military has fucking
Calm
footage
DeLong, dude.
of
Calm the fuck
actual
down, man.
UFOs. I'm gonna fucking just start
Tom
screaming.
DeLonge did go on record saying that he's fucking been abducted.
This is true.
Okay, dude. Next
Look it up,
Okay,
dude.
honey.
the reptiles, man. You gotta stop them all. The supplements, the aliens
He's
coming.
typing
for you.
away.
Fucking linking this now,
All right,
Okay.
okay.
fuckers.
We're gonna have that car. We can't, David.
Okay,
You don't want to
sweetie.
put it out there, dude. They'll kill you. Man. Just
Yeah,
let's stop talking
careful.
He's
about
gonna
it.
get abducted like Tom DeLonge did.
This next story here is about Ninja. We talked about Ninja last week because
You fuckers.
he streamed. Nothing you're gonna link here is gonna prove.
Washington Post. I just linked you the fucking Washington
You
Post.
sent us a grainy ass image of I don't know what. Just leave me alone.
Of a drone attack. That's the United States murdering
Fuck
innocents.
off, dude. They have documented conversations
I have
about
the
these, and they're just like,
documents. What the fuck?
fuck off.
This is
You
a
guys
good
suck.
character you're playing right now. But we talked about Ninja
Oh,
last
I'm gonna
week
scream.
when he destroyed Twitch's concurrent viewer count when he streamed with Drake and Travis Scott and Kim.com and Juju Smith-Schuster. But this week he went and did an interview with CNBC in which he revealed he makes about $500,000 a month from Twitch, which that seems like a lot. I don't know how you guys.
That's a
Yeah,
lot.
a month.
1 month.
That's
is that
more than I
market
could
at
ever
work?
make in a year.
That's more than most of us make in a year, yeah.
What do we think about this? Is this?
That's more than. Wait, $500,000 a month
A
is
month.
more than most of us make in a year?
I meant most of
Are
us
you-
as in
who the
most of,
fuck
like, a
makes
lot of people, not just
half
the
a
four
million.
of us,
Try
five
like
of
more
us.
than like almost everyone makes in 5 years. Like making 6 figures is a big deal. 500,000 a month. That's fucking insane amounts of money.
Yeah, that's fucking bananas.
Like, I guess if people want to fucking pay him, probably all out of this is coming straight from Amazon. through
He was
Prime,
really
but-
cool about it in this interview, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's,
What did he say exactly?
He basically he kind of explains it to them. They're very I don't want to say
They were like low key trying to make fun of him the whole time too. They
I
were
wouldn't
like,
say-
"You
I
fucking
wouldn't-
play video games? Like,
Yeah.
oh,
It's
okay. Did your mom like that?"
Yeah, they're kind
Yeah,
of
it's
ass.
NBC.
Yeah, they were like not cool about
I
it.
don't think they were that bad. Like they
They
weren't
were. They
great.
literally said like, "What did your mom think of that?"
I think they're being a little tongue in cheek. Though.
Yeah, like it
It's like everybody's
wasn't
had
funny,
that conversation.
but I don't know.
It's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's making a bunch of money doing this, which is
Bunch of money.
the dream.
I'm sure it won't corrupt him. I'm sure he'll do the right thing.
He like shit on him at one point too. I mean, not really, but he
I
was
feel like
like,
you're making this interview way more fucking
it like annoyed me. I was personally annoyed by it.
Forced
so-
conflict weeks over here.
But
know,
like she basically asked him like the question about his mom, like, what did your mom think of that? Like, how did you find success doing this? Like, I bet your mom thought fucking video games were stupid. And
It
he
sounds
was
like a totally normal thing to ask someone.
he
who's
literally
video
was like,
game
I'm glad you asked that
algorithm.
question. And he actually had a really good, like, well thought out answer. And he was like, well, I donate to charities. Like, and it's not just about, like, you can't just drop everything and play video games. Like, you have to find the time to do this on top of, like, going to school, having a full-time job. Like, I did all of these
Why does he
things
have a
and
full
play
time
video
job?
games. Like, it's not just about, like, if you want to be successful in the video games industry or, like, as a streamer, as a writer or something like that, you have to find a way to like to balance that with the other things that you do and still be successful. Like you can't just, all right, I'm gonna play video games and make money.
Some just fall behind you, David.
No, that was our heater.
No, it's aliens.
Expanding.
Scared me. I thought something fell from the ceiling.
God damn it! Dead ass something.
It's like
did
really
fall
dark
from
in
the
his
ceiling.
apartment. All of a sudden, some
Jesus
giant
Christ.
girl's behind.
I'm
Get
not
out.
kidding.
Yeah,
Like I heard that noise, looked at your screen, and something was falling from the ceiling.
Oh,
I'm like, not.
there's a cryptid in my. The aliens
No,
heard
I
me. They're
heard that
coming
sound
already.
too. It was right next to me. It was
So
I'm
Tom
not
DeLonge's
fucking
coming to get
with
you,
I
dude.
promise. Oh, that was terrifying. Anyway, next story is about Overwatch. The new character Brigette or Brigitte.
Brigitte.
I feel
I think it's actually
Brigitte.
sillier than you would think.
the ongoing story of how no one cares about this character besides how to pronounce her name is coming. I'm just kidding. It was a joke.
I wanted to play as her.
Did
I
you
might go
really?
back
Talking
and
about
play as her.
literally
Yeah, I
everyone
did.
is like
I've played Overwatch in a hot minute, so yeah, I'll probably play it
excited
when it
about
comes
her.
out.
Like,
She's coming.
She
She's
looks
out of
really
PTR. She's out of PTR now.
yeah, she's live.
She
She's
she
fun.
and she
got
She's
a lot
not
of
gonna be
play,
in
dude.
comp for a while, but
like Marth,
cool.
like Marth and Lucina is just a reskin of Mercy because she has like the exact same face.
Lucina is a
I
reskin
was
of
like, what
Mercy.
are you
You heard it
talking
here first. That makes no sense.
It's just like how Lucario is a reskin of Pikachu.
Checks out.
Actually, he's a reskin of Mewtwo.
Mm-hmm. That
Yeah,
actually does check.
That actually is.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep, I
just
was
skinny.
not, despite my tone of
In
voice.
in Monster Hunter, Deviljho.
Deviljho.
Deviljho
Deviljho's out.
is out. He's a big
he's-
scary guy.
He's fun.
huge.
He's not as hard as I think people expected because he's not like a high rank. He's like a 6-star monster because they didn't want just the like people at the very end game to be able to fight him. I'm sure once they temper him and like release that version, it'll be a lot harder. He's a lot of fun and his weapons are actually really dope. I got the hunting horn and it is top tier. It's like the best one. And they buffed a lot of the weapons. They made a lot of little changes. The like lance is stronger. The greatsword's stronger. Aaron, what do you use? The gun lance. That's
Gun lance and dual blades.
I think everything got buffed in some way or another and made it a little easier to use. Yeah, and then there's like a spring event happening, and they're releasing a fucking like greatsword with like a jet engine on the back, like to propel it. And I'm gonna fucking get it because it looks amazing. So I'm really hyped.
Are we
for
gonna
that.
hunt Deviljho, dude?
Yeah, I'm already doing it. Hop on after the stream. I'll fucking play. It's really fun. He's a big boy.
I'll do it tomorrow, dude, for sure.
Sounds good.
Joe.
Yeah, he's fun. I'm really happy. I think people are happy with him.
Deviljho. Yeah, I've heard Monster Hunter not going away in the way I.
You're
expected.
just gonna have to deal with it. I know
Not
you're
yet.
disappointed.
I'm not disappointed. I really don't care. Like it's like a meme that I hate it or anything, but like it's
a
not
really
going
good
away.
game.
in the way
I
it
think
kinda-
it's-
It's
I
a
think-
fun game.
I think it's gone down a little bit, but it's not gonna go away.
Yeah, it's definitely not as big as it was, but like.
Well,
yeah,
every time one of these little things happens, you'll get a bump.
Yeah.
And that's what the point. Like that's the plan.
That's the games of service model.
Speaking,
this
speaking
next
of
story-
things not going away.
Speaking of things that go away, Aaron, it's time. Are you ready for this week's Fortnite news update? Blitz
That's
mode.
not the song that you did last week.
I know.
I couldn't. I was trying to remember what I did
Well,
last week, and I
you
just
said
couldn't.
you just went, "Ugh," or something
Yeah,
like
last
that.
week-
You
last
just
week.
No,
went
no, no.
close.
It's gonna be something different every week. But like, I was trying to do the Irish jig that I did last week. That came out as just the South Park theme
South
Yeah,
song.
Park.
last time you did the South Park theme song. The Blitz mode is live. Blitz mode is a new mode where basically stuff spawns more, and the stuff goes faster. It's real fun. It's by far my favorite new mode. Cheyenne and I have been streaming it a bunch. Drew, you've been playing it on and off. we're having fun, right?
Yeah.
man.
Also, new weapon, heavy shotgun.
Oh yeah, new weapon, heavy shotgun. It goes when you shoot it.
Also, where's the jetpack?
Cheyenne, where's the jetpack? Jetpack truther here.
So what the fuck is that llama?
The supply llama?
Yeah.
They're like.
I found a pinata looking thing in the middle of the field one day, and I just couldn't
Did
do
you
anything
open
with
You
it.
gotta
You
open
can
it.
open it.
Yeah,
How
it's
do you
like a
open it?
supply drop.
Press
Hold
square.
square. It takes a little
What?
bit longer because you get like a shit ton of shit from
Yeah,
it.
you
They
get
get,
you
like-
get
Is it
like
still there if somebody else opens it?
no.
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 The game
the
might have
fuck?
also
Were you
been
playing
on
mobile?
glitched.
That was, yeah.
Yeah.
Were you
there's such
really?
there's such a lag on opening a llama. and
There was no
mobile.
button prompt, so I was like, what the
If you just
fuck
hold
is
it,
this thing?
yeah.
I took a screenshot of it. I'll send it to you guys, but there was no button prompt.
We've
Yeah.
fucked the llamas, man. We've opened it before.
We're fucking with the llamas. But the Blitz mode, I'm having such a good time with it. It basically makes the game like the game's already way quicker than PUBG. Or a game of PUBG, like if you win, is how long does it take? 45 minutes, probably 40 minutes, at least a
Yeah.
half hour. A game of Fortnite's already 20 minutes. Blitz makes it like 15 minutes, 10 minutes, and it's, I don't know. It's just I'm having so much fun with it. Aaron's eating some noodles.
That's an orange.
That's
but
an orange, but yeah.
Orange.
It's definitely an orange.
Eat those
Whatever.
noodles, bud.
This next. Oh, that's it. That's it for the news this week. We did news.
This next.
We did news, David. Are you excited for doing news?
Yeah, we did it all.
This
All
next
news is
story comes from The Verge. It's our check out this article of the week, where the title of it is "Toxic Management Costs an Award-Winning Game Studio Its Best Developers." It basically describes how game developer Telltale Games, who are behind The Walking Dead and a bunch of other cool projects. I'm like butchering this right now.
But
Yeah.
Who are behind a bunch of other cool projects, basically lost a bunch of talent due to the way their studio was run and operating, with like things we talked about with overworking, toxic environments in the studio,
Overworked and underpaid.
basically everything that the game developers union would solve
They're right. Yeah.
was why this happened.
Which
I
is
don't
what
know.
I was
do you-
alluding to.
Yeah.
obviously.
What did you guys think about this article?
It's sad, but at the same time, like,
This also comes from The Verge and Megan Farukamesh. She's cool.
okay.
Anyway.
thank you
Okay.
for naming the author. I was going to
Yeah.
ask you to do that.
Yeah. But like, I mean, we've always noticed, like, I mean, I haven't played a Telltale game in a while. Like, I mean, I'm not caught up on like the current Batman or whatever they're doing right now.
Last
but-
one I played was the first Batman.
Yeah, but like, there's never been a change in like the quality of the game. Although the story, like the storytelling, has been pretty good, the quality of the game is always shit. And like, and reading through the article, just seeing like how the the CEO and everything just kept stacking more and more and taking on more.
I don't know if it's fair to say the quality is like always shit.
No, the
I feel
quality
like.
is like literally always shit. Like first,
Not the. Like, he's saying the
wasn't
technical
in-
quality of the
the
game.
technical quality of the games. It's glitched the fuck out every time you play it.
Like,
And,
every game is
like
just
Batman, the first episode, they just didn't have bodies. They're just
Like, I
floating
had
fucking
so
teeth
many
and eyes.
problems with every time I play
That's
it.
not okay.
Every
Yeah,
time
it's
I play a
not.
Telltale game, it's like absurd the amount of like.
But they're like
shit you run into.
the programmers were saying like they were pushed, so much was pushed on them, and like it was nonstop, crunch time, because as soon as you get one done, you constantly flow right into the next one, working like 6-7 days a week, fucking 15, 18 hours.
That's fucked up.
And,
Back to
like,
the union
I-
thing.
yeah,
They
well, and I
should
think that
unionize.
Telltale can make good games. They need to like redo their engine for sure. But like, if they were to just focus on one, like The Walking Dead season 1 is so good, and when it came out, it's so good.
That's the thing that basically broke them, in the
Yeah.
sense that like they from then on they had so much licensed work. Like they were doing the Marvel game and the Game of Thrones game and Wolf Among Us and Batman and Minecraft, and like I'm like not struggling to name all the games they've done in the past 5 years.
Yeah, and it was like one of the things that they said is like they all have paid time off, but it was like saying that anybody could take days off, but they would say, well, if you take a day off, we can't really stop what you're doing, so you're really just putting more work on everybody else. So it's kind of like guilting them into not being able to take any time off.
Yep.
It sounds like a really
Yeah,
shitty
that's like a
work
very
environment.
toxic work environment
Yeah.
where you're not
Which
like,
in turn
mean-
doesn't allow you to like put out good games. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just
That's like a problem in a lot of places. That's like
oh yeah,
Mhm.
to,
100%.
to go back to the union thing real quick. Like, another problem is like places that aren't unionized, like talking about forming a union is
very
frowned
low-
upon
very-
to such a like extreme degree that like it's technically illegal to fire people for talking about unionizing in the United States, but like it still happens, and like there's no way to prove that that's why you got fired or. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
if an employer decides, like, well, fuck, this guy's trying to unionize, like, let's get rid of him, they can just make something up and fire you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
There's plenty of like retail jobs and like smaller like jobs that are typically like hourly and stuff like that, where they like in part of your introduction or not introduction, like training, they'll like have you watch like not anti-union videos, but like if somebody's trying to unionize, think about the company, think about like what this would mean for you, and it's like
Right.
fuck off, yeah.
And it's usually some bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
It's typically some bullshit. But yeah, thought this was an interesting read. If you want to go check it out, it's on the Verge. From
You
Megan.
can tell. You can tell I
Farouk
actually read it this week.
Yeah, dude. Drew was fucking nailing that segment, wasn't he, David?
Yeah, dude. Killed it.
I look up to you.
This next segment is the games that are out this week. Yep.
So
We need to come up with a jingle.
fuck-
I want to come up with a jingle for it, Cheyenne.
all right,
bam,
don't do
bam.
too much. 8 fucking logos, 8 different fucking jingles. We need a jingle for every show.
I want a
now.
jingle for it, Cheyenne.
We're-
What's
we're-
the
I'll
jingle?
create a jingle. I got it, dude. I'm the
Oh, we
jingle
don't need
jingle.
Play your
jingle,
orange.
jangle.
Game-
Games
Play
out
your
this
orange.
week.
Did you say play my orange?
Yep.
Games out.
Hey,
Alright, I'll
Drew-
figure out how to
Drew,
turn
what's
this into
out?
an instrument.
I'm waiting for this jingle. I've been told that I have to have one.
When I come back with
I
a
like it.
song
Okay.
played on an orange peel, you all owe me a lot of money.
No. All right. Games out this week. MLB The Show 18, PS4 exclusive. Everybody that likes the MLB games or
I like that
baseball
song.
games in general says this is the best one. Also, the only one.
Got Aaron
So-
Judge out on the cover.
That-
Fuck the Yankees.
I don't know anything about baseball, so you know.
Fuck the Yankees.
All right, fuck the Yankees. Far Cry 5, a highly anticipated album.
His sophomore effort wasn't that great. But Far Cry 5 really turned it around.
Far Cry
with-
5. Yeah, no,
This one.
anticipated game. I know that David, you'll speak on this. We'll see what you feel about it, but I know a lot of people are very excited about it. Also, Outlast 2 will be out on the Nintendo Switch, which after a kind of a stealth drop for Outlast, the original Outlast, I've been keeping an eye on this one on the eShop store. See how it runs, because I think that looks significantly better than the first one, and see what the downgrade to Switch looks like. And then, why are you trying to edit this? Don't do that. Don't edit The Adventures of Bertram Fiddle. Which, if you look at this...
Looking up what it was.
Breaking
so-
news. Bow, 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 bow. Temper Deviljho is out. They just dropped him. So
Oh.
that's all.
Oh,
In case
sweet.
anybody was wondering. He's
Devil
out.
Joe!
The Adventures of Bertram Fiddle is a point-and-click, kind of like a puzzle-solving game, but
This guy's got a dick nose.
he's got a dick nose and one eye. But like we were saying earlier with the pool game, that looks like Dan. What do you say, Dan Harmon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This looks kind of like Adventure Time, kind of like Cartoon Network, just kind of in the same vein. You know what I'm saying? But
Worked
this
on
is
Community,
episode
am I
1.
right?
Was that?
Yeah, he did create Community.
So this like just to kind of, it's an episodic thing. I just thought it looked interesting. It'll be on the Switch.
Is that
mobile
is
and
that the
PC.
first episode or the?
Yes, this is the first episode. And then last but not least, speaking of toxic work environments, Batman: The Enemy Within, episode 5, the final episode for the.
That's
second
a good
season.
point. Toxic work. Wayne Manor, toxic work environment. He's
Yeah,
got
there's-
Alfred running doing shit. Alfred's not getting paid overtime.
No, he
Alfred
doesn't. It's just this
indebted
binge.
actually to his family. Like what
Does
the
Alfred?
fuck?
Do we even know if Alfred actually gets paid? Does he eat?
Is
Never seen him
Alfred
eat.
an AI?
Does he eat?
Is
Never
Alfred
seen
Alfred's a
Alfred.
robot,
human?
dude. AI dilemma. Is Alfred a real
Does
conscious
Al-
being?
That comes out March 27th as well, and that's PS4, PC, Xbox One. So,
Did you play this season at all, Drew?
nah, I told you I haven't played anything in a while.
Yeah, I just
So,
maybe
I'm still
I'll-
waiting
shit
for
together.
Wolf Among Us 2. That's
Yeah,
still
that's
my
the
favorite
one. I think
so
I'm gonna hop back on the Telltale bandwagon.
Yep.
'Cause I never played Walking Dead season 3 either, where they got the
I haven't
Javier
either.
guy.
Got it downloaded,
Yeah.
not played it. So that's out. That's the more notable games for this week, as well as a little random one there with the Adventures of Bertram Fiddle. Yeah, I'm mostly just looking forward to Far Cry 5 myself. So
Yeah, I think that's everybody's biggest thing that's coming out. You want to do the jingle out, David? Great.
There
Sure,
you
that
go.
sounds great in the mic.
Yeah.
That brings us to my favorite segment of the show, which is Other Listeners' Mail, which, if you don't know, we take the mail that you send to other podcasts and then read it on our podcast. Just ape everything that they did and all the time and money that they spend on their podcast. Just take their listeners and do it ourselves. So this comes from Game Scoop, which is one of IGN's podcasts. Josh from Athens, Georgia writes in and says, "Hi, Josh." He writes in and says, "Hey, Game Scoop," not us. We're the Current Gaming Podcast, just in case you were forgetting. "I'm a long-time listener. Thank you, Josh. That means a lot. And first-time writer. You guys have kept me listening with your interesting and thorough conversations on games based on your vast information on the topic and how working in the industry has helped shape your views." Well,
yes.
Thank you so much,
Love
Josh,
working in the industry.
for doing that for us.
Stop it.
I'm curious if there was someone, perhaps an alien, from a different planet with no knowledge of human history who had never heard of video games, what 5 games would you choose to represent the entire medium? I'm calling that Justin, that is a person on GameStop, not on this podcast, but
He's not on this episode.
He would fit in with David's opinions on this. We'll say Binding of Isaac because it shows how roguelites have risen over the past few years. Well, thank you for your time, Josh. Thank you for your time, Josh from Athens, Georgia. Thank you, Josh.
Can we
for
just
writing in.
each pick one game so that this doesn't take 20 minutes?
That was the thing. That was what we
All right, cool.
idea.
I'm way ahead of you. I got the aliens in me. I'm thinking 10 steps ahead.
Jesus, dude.
He's getting
got
probed,
these.
Stop.
dude. He's
Stop.
getting probed.
with the alien.
David might actually be possessed. He's been like on this
Jesus
alien thing
Christ.
for.
Dude, they're out there. You just have to look. God damn it.
Actually, as a matter of fact, David's going to tell us the game he's already shown them. David, what have you shown these aliens?
but you
what
showed
have
the
you shown the
aliens.
aliens? Yeah,
I'm
you
gonna
brought your
fucking
Nintendo
just
Switch
start
up there.
He's gonna show us a game
Handheld.
from the aliens, dude.
I would show them Bloodborne because I think it would speak to them because it features them.
An alien?
Oh.
It features the aliens.
Okay.
Features.
They would really. I think that's a good answer.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I'd show them Bloodborne because, like, what if they don't look like that? And they're like, wow, you guys, this is really offensive.
Vicious.
This is racist.
No.
This is racist. We don't look like this.
Away! Like, what's she yelling about? Away! Drew, what's your game?
Fortnite.
You mean Fortnite?
I'd show them
And
Fortnite, man.
They just
fine
learn about
choice.
humanity through the fact that we're all
Yep.
trying to kill
They
each
really
other
would.
with a
Learn how-
small enclosing circle.
If only Friendly Fire was still on, they'd learn a whole lot more.
Tell him drop at the Bass Pro Shop, dude.
Yeah, you gotta
Bass
drop it.
Pro, they'd be like, don't know what Bass Pro is. Yeah, good point.
What about you? What about you, Aaron?
Even though it might not be my favorite RPG personally, I think I'd have to show him Witcher 3, just because I think it's like an exemplar of like what an open world RPG should be, and I think it's a good one to show somebody who's like looking to get into a really fun, like interesting RPG, but like doesn't want to like get bogged down in like a lot of menus and confusing bullshit. Like even though Witcher has a lot of depth, I think it's easy to jump into to somebody who's new to that genre.
Yeah, you think the aliens would finish it? Would
I
they?
think the aliens would
they?
finish it.
Would they get around to finishing it? Or
I
they
think
would,
the aliens
they'd
would
put
love
it off
Geralt,
eventually.
and then they would try to like fuck a bunch of new alien races.
A
you know?
little known fact about aliens, they don't need to sleep. So
They don't
that-
sleep, but they need to fuck, and that's
Still-
what Geralt does.
Yeah, that's very true.
That-
Cheyenne,
it would
what
speak
game
to
you
them.
got?
I would choose Journey. I think it really shows games as art, and it's just kind of like so different from some other like mainstream games.
And
It
as
really
creatives, the
shows-
aliens would probably appreciate that.
Oh, totally. They'd be like, "Oh, these are alien dudes in the sand.
Yeah.
It's a game about me."
I think I would show them Duke Nukem Forever so they can experience true human failure in the scale in which we all do on a daily basis. That brings us to, that was a great question, Josh. Write in next week.
This is a good question.
We'll maybe talk about what you're thinking about. But now we're gonna be talking about what we have been playing for the week. It's a big week, a lot of big releases coming out. Let's just jump right into it. David, you've been playing a little game called Far Cry 5.
That's right. I'll talk about it now. So Far Cry 5 is a game. It is the 5th in the mainline. I'm not gonna fucking do that. It is better than most of the Far Cry games.
Which one is it not better than?
4.
I don't know actually. It might be my favorite.
Okay.
Because I'll just level. Okay, so unlike the other games, it features a protagonist which is not named and not voiced, and has no. It's kind of like I compared in my review to Fallout New Vegas is like the courier. You're the courier, but you get to design your guy. So in this, you're the deputy, and you get to like be whoever the fuck you want. So you jump in and you have no real motivation in your character other than you're trying to arrest this cult leader, Joseph Seed, who's leading this huge cult in Hope County, Montana. Now, when this game was announced and kind of teased, dude, stop spamming the Discord. I'm gonna fucking kill you both. It's so distracting.
It is.
Fuck, I lost my train of thought because you fucking.
When this game was first conceived,
Yeah, when
people
they
were like,
first-
oh, it's gonna be like a big like statement politically, and all the cult's gonna be racist and hateful and shit. And I was like, no, they're not, and I was right, they're not at all. It plays it totally safe with the politics. In fact, there's barely any politics at all. They're just super religious, and I don't even think they come out and say it's Christianity because they're that fucking like not confident in it. But I mean, they do say Satan and God and all that shit. So you're like, yeah, okay, it's like a form of Christianity. But it's got your like basic cult shit. There's like 3 big regions.
All right, hold on, pause. What's your basic cult shit? Give me a check.
I research cults a lot. This is true. So the leader is just a manipulative. Yeah, I mean, kind of like he kind of has these big complexes, and they're constantly spamming their voice through megaphones to everybody. They have a drug called Bliss, which makes people like crazy, and it's kind of like the game's hallucinogen. Like they do that kind of shit with it, of course, because it's Far Cry. So that's kind of how they mind control their people and make them so fanatical. And so there's the Faith Seed. She's like the siren, they call her, and she controls all the bliss, and she kind of lures people in with like her sense of like beauty and you know oneness with yourself. And then there's John Seed, and he's like the militant fucking like you know iron fist like human trafficking piece of shit. You know the strong should eat the weak, and he's got a like hunting metaphor, and like you know humans have become soft, so he wants to drug them up and make them violent animals. Yeah, kind of. And then the other guy, I haven't really gone to that region yet, so I can't really speak on the third one. But they're really interesting, and they're actually pretty well written, especially Joseph Seed. He has some really good dialogue, and kind of I think his past will be more elucidated. I'm only about 15 hours in. But what's there so far is all, like, really well done, and it's about what you'd expect on, like, the hook, and the villains have always been really good in the Far Cry games, and this is no exception. But the biggest thing about it is all the quality of life improvements. There's no hunt 4 bears and get their skins to make a new wallet. There's no hunt a bunch of rabbits to make another weapon holster. Everything is tied to perks, and you get perk points by doing unique things in the world. So like kill some deers, you'll get a perk point. Kill a bunch of guys with headshots, you get a perk point. And then that's how you get your holster upgrades, your health upgrades, ammo upgrades, all that shit. No more mandatory hunting. Hunting now is used to gain money, so that's nice. And you can also fish, and the fucking fishing minigame is so good. And I just sat there for like an hour fishing. It's so fucking fun. Like, and it gets you a lot of money because fish are worth a lot. There's no looting animations, which is great. You don't fucking go down to the ground and do this anymore. There's no skinning animations. There's no...
Is there healing animation still where you like wrap your fucking
There is, but it's much faster. And you don't pull fucking sticks out of your arm and shit. It's much more grounded. And that's like, it's weird because you would think it being so grounded and being set in the US where it's so familiar would make it boring and like blasé. But I think it makes the series feel fresh because... A lot of games have this, like, tie-up, like Wolfenstein and stuff, where, like, if you pull a lever, you've got to fucking show the animation. If you pull in the fucking lever... It's just so disrupting to the gameplay, and Far Cry does away with all of that. And it just lets you, like, do things... And in cutscenes, when you're talking to people, you can move around, you can look around. It doesn't lock you into a cutscene anymore. I really like that. So the game feels really fluid. It's super easy to just jump in. The fucking world is beautifully crafted, obviously. My only really big complaint is that it's so eager to show you... like what it has. When you're driving down the road, there's like the same little events kind of popping up in front of you constantly. Yeah. And that's my biggest complaint is when it lets you kind of just explore quietly, it's at its best. And sometimes it just gets a little too much. Like it's trying to show you too much at once. I'm feeling about an 8 on it. The narrative isn't pushing any huge bounds, but the gameplay is as good as the series has ever been. And it has a lot of really good quality of life improvements. I'm really excited to try out the multiplayer with you guys and with Cheyenne. And the arcade and map editor were apparently really in-depth. They have assets from all of Ubisoft's games, and you can make maps and levels on your own and stuff, so I'm excited for that. What did I say?
It sounded like you said booby-soft.
No, you didn't say Ubisoft. No, Drew sent me a picture. Oh, I was playing Far Cry 4. I'm going to see if it'll focus in on the camera. This is when we went hunting. We killed a bunch of exotic tigers.
Oh my god.
Just made a big pile of them.
I still want to try to get the platinum. I don't know how hard it is. I haven't really looked.
I've never
But,
thought the platinums in Far Cry were too bad.
Yeah, they're always like very manageable. Like,
I'm
Far Cry
excited
4,
to see this one.
and
But
I
I would
never did it
recommend
in Primal, but like
Definitely,
Yeah, still
definitely
missing
would
that one.
recommend.
And then speaking of playing games co-op, I know you and Cheyenne, we got a Let's Play up right now. We played a game called A Way Out from
Yeah, so
Good.
Shane's gonna lead the way on that.
Haze
one.
Yeah.
Light.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool. We played through the whole thing. The actual prison part was a lot shorter than I expected. You get out of prison much quicker than I thought, and the rest is kind of like a buddy cop movie with a shitty ass villain. So like he reviewed it, so you know you can always go read that. But what we both kind of noticed was that the writing right off the bat was kind of It was
Yeah.
kind of unoriginal in its like plot and its villain and its backstories for the characters. But aside from like the writing and some of the dialogue being just kind of like not quite there, not quite human enough, the actual like gameplay of it was pretty fun. Like the co-op, you know, like I played Vincent, who is this like family man kind of, you know, straight edge kind of dude, and then Leo's like this gangster type. So,
She's
you know,
gone.
cliches,
No.
but
All right.
also like the kind of different things. And like, so when you're doing the co-op, like sometimes if you get into like a bigger cutscene with your character, like your screen will be bigger and the other one will kind of shrink, and you'll focus on that, which also kind of became a problem when both of you started to talk to someone at the same time. It became really hard to hear. One of them got louder, one of them got quieter, and it was just a lot to
Too
deal
much
with,
going on at
but-
once.
Yeah.
I watched part of your guys' Let's Play, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see more from you guys.
Oh, thank you.
Ugh, don't fucking stop that, Aaron. Put a fucking kibosh on talking like that from
But
now
anyway,
on. Jesus Christ. Fucking God, don't fucking do that ever again.
What
You're,
the hell? Okay.
CJ, that
He's
literally
got
made
you
me
flustered.
forget
Yeah,
where I was
tilted.
going with all of that.
What were you gonna
Tilted
say?
IRL.
We were talking about how there's a lot of dialogue and shit going on. You watched us.
I literally don't remember where I was going with that. You're fucking the
I'm
it
glad
was
I
something
cut you
about the
off so much.
dialogue.
Yeah.
In the game is stilted.
Oh, so
Dialogue
like
is-
the repetitive dialogue, like so the part where you guys
You
were
wanna
like
get
trying
that
to
mop,
unscrew
dude.
the thing from the wall, and like you had to fucking chisel your way out of the like behind the toilet or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like when the guards walk by, he would be like, "Inmate, go to bed," and the guy would be like, "I
Uh-huh.
gotta take a piss."
right.
Yeah.
Which like that's
every
cool,
time.
but you'd think they'd write in like a couple more responses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because,
There were,
like, that's going to
two.
happen, like, fucking 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 times. But,
Right.
like, there's literally only 2 responses.
Yeah.
which is-
that
That
sort
part
of thing came up
sucks.
a lot.
The prison part was honestly the weakest part of the game, which is
Yeah.
so weird to me.
And that's the only part of the Let's Play I watched, so maybe it
It's-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's all we really had. We had a
Yeah,
little
they
bit.
never got out. Did you get out of prison in the Let's Play? I don't think you did, right? Or
No,
you're right.
No,
I was
I don't
much more down on it until we finished it, and I thought the end was
Yeah.
good. I'm not gonna spoil it. It's worth seeing. I think it's
Yeah.
like it's a good game. I'm
It's-
glad
yeah.
it got better reviews than I gave it, because I think that Joseph Fares is a really passionate dude. Like, good for him.
Yeah.
He made Brothers. That game's fucking awesome. But I just wish the writing was better. I wish it had
Yeah.
given us what it promised us, which was a really awesome, impactful narrative, which I don't think it delivered on at all.
I
But
agree.
to each his own. It depends on what you value. I valued writing more in this
Yeah,
over
I think
gameplay.
other people focus more on the gameplay, which it was. The gameplay was,
was
good.
fun.
Like the stealth parts where like I was in bed, we were both in the nurse's area. I was in bed and he had to like go sneak around to grab something while there were guards, and like I had to distract the nurse, and like that. Those parts were really cool, and like the parts where it's kind of open and there's a few things for you to do, some people to talk to, which not as fun. But like we played Connect 4 in the hospital, and that was actually really fun.
Cheyenne's a fucking menace at Connect.
I
She
am.
kicked my
I'm
ass.
a fucking Connect 4 queen. But yeah, so
That
like
could be
we
your
got to play baseball.
nickname. Connect
Connect
4
4
Queen.
No.
Queen.
But yeah, like so, that sort of stuff was fun, and if there was more of those like kind of bonding moments where you're not speaking with weird like,
Fucking
sentences where you're just like, I don't like that guard, like,
Yeah, it's just not great, but
but
worth playing.
Fun nonetheless.
I don't think a 6 is dog shit like other people
No.
do. I think a 6 is above average, and that's what this game is. So, all right,
Agreed.
on to Aaron and Drew.
Cheyenne, you've been playing
Well,
Where the Water Tastes Like.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
This
Yeah, go
this will
ahead.
be much quicker. So I've only played a little bit of it, but it definitely seems like my kind of game. I've talked about it before. It's where you like are traveling around the U.S. and you kind of talk to people and gain some stories, and you just kind of observe the world around you. And then there's these campsites that you run into where you meet like the main characters, and you sit and talk with them over a campfire and like tell them stories that they want to hear, and you can progress their story. And you can also, like, when you go to cities, you'll see like the stories you've already told, they'll change and like become a little bit less true, but also more fun, and will also like be better to tell to other people. So like stories count as like currencies, and like they change, and it's a really cool like idea. The kind of part where you're walking around the map of the US, like going between places, is kind of ugly looking and like framey, but like other than that, it's a really cool idea. And I'm excited to play more. Like, it's one of those things where like there's stories everywhere for me to go to, and I want to stop at each and every one. So I might eventually do that and just get to everywhere around the US. Right now I've only explored like the northeast, like New England area, so it's
A lot of covered
it's like
bridges up there.
It's yeah, for sure. There's tons
Fucking
of
don't
covered
remind
bridges.
me.
But there's like big cities too. Like you can go to tiny little towns, and like there'll be like one thing you can do, and then you can go into like New York, and like
Yeah.
you can work for money. You can just talk to people. You can go like on a train ride from one place to another. It's cool. It's my kind of game for sure.
Cool. Drew, what have you been up to?
Bunch of nothing, man. Fortnite, we get some wins.
Skia!
I took a break. I took a break. Everyone thought I was dead.
All right, you turned into fucking Yoda, I guess, too.
Took a break. But I come back, and I'm feeling. It's kind of like when we played Rocket League too much, and then you'd come back, and it was like everything was just clicking again. You know what I'm saying?
Click it again, yep. You take that,
So-
you get that nice little thing right there. All right, hold on, pause. The window in your room, Cheyenne,
Yeah.
behind you to the left, that doesn't have a black curtain on it, right?
No, that is the window.
All right, but on my screen, Drew has a black curtain right there. It seamlessly goes into it. It looks
Oh,
very weird.
Interesting.
Anyway, Aaron, Aaron, what have you been playing?
I started the first Ni no Kuni.
Yeah.
It's something I've always wanted to play, and like with Ni no Kuni 2 coming out, it felt like now is like the time I needed to do it. You know.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
Um,
Not in 2012 when it came out.
I probably
Yeah.
should have played it then. You're right.
2013.
13, whatever.
I just read
I
a review for it.
love it so far. I fucking love Drippy or whatever his name is. The
Drippy
little
nose.
guy, with the little lantern
Yeah,
nose.
Drippy nose, isn't that? That's his name, right?
I really loved the intro of that game. Like the beginning was so cool. I haven't gotten that really haven't experienced any of the game at all, to be honest with you. Like just like exposition stuff.
Mhm.
But I love that.
think of
And
the
I've been playing
cutscenes?
WoW still. What?
What do you think of the cutscenes?
They're awesome. It's like Studio Ghibli. I mean, it's like literally watching a fucking
Yeah.
Ghibli movie.
Yeah, they're
I guess
not.
they aren't involved on the second one.
Yeah, they're not involved in the second one. They were on the first one though.
Some
that-
people are
Maybe
from
that's
Ghibli.
why it's not as good.
Like they don't.
because didn't they credit Studio Ghibli as like?
Well,
in
some,
the
some
first
of the
one.
people consulted on it.
Like the second one doesn't have like the anime cutscenes, like at all, point blank.
Mhm.
Like it's
Well,
all
why don't you
in.
tell us about
Yeah.
them, Charles?
It's all in engine. Yeah, I've been playing the second one, and
Don't give
it's
too
good.
much by Aaron sold
It-
on the first one.
it's good. Like it's not related to the first one, like in any way, like
Which
at
I
all.
I told you
Like
last week.
they're all like there's Ding Dong Dell is like a place, and that is the only reference to the first one that I really picked up on. I never finished the first one, but I put 30 something hours into it, and like I feel like I saw a good chunk of that world, and like that's the only thing I get. So basically, the first one has turn-based combat. In like it's just like really it's like live action, but it's like a very interesting combat system. And the second one completely does away with all of that. There is no like waiting for your turn to come back. There's no in the first game there's things called familiars, which are basically like Pokemon. There's none of that is in this game at all. Like it's all just you and your party members fighting. And there's they're not familiars, but there's little like I can't remember what they call them. Fuck, hedgelings,
Higglebees.
Higgle something.
Real time in the second one. It's like Final Fantasy 15 kind of in the second one.
Yeah, well, the second one, and there's little Higglebees that like they'll like create a pool, and then if you stand in that pool, you'll get MP back,
Like
or you'll
Pikmin?
get. Yeah, basically that's what they look like. Is like Pikmin. But the combat in it is super. It's all hack and slash, and it's super. It reminds me a lot of Dynasty Warriors. In the way it works is like you'll start an encounter and they'll be like. It's not as dramatic as Dynasty Warriors where you're fighting like 40 people at a time, but you'll be fighting like 5 people at a time, and like constantly you're just like getting like large groups of people in like a combo and like stun locking them until you can like finish them off or like until your combo ends. There's also like a really cool the way spells and stuff works is like you use MP for it, but you can come back and take a break, but like in mid fight you can switch between which character you're using depending on like what kind of sword you have. Like there are water swords and like fire swords and other elemental kind of stuff that dictates how much damage you're doing to the enemies. But I think the biggest departure outside of the whole like combat system being completely different is about, I would say, 10-ish, maybe not even that much into the game. Like basically not spoilers, but like the light thing is like you're a king trying to run a kingdom. You're playing as this kid, King Evan, who's trying to basically run a kingdom that would create peace in the world and like this altruistic kind of view. And basically 10 hours into the game, you get a mini game where you can just literally play Civ, and it's like a real time strategy game where you have groups of people that you can either fight different kingdoms and like try to make them like succumb to your rule or like bargain with them. There's like management stuff to where you're like coaching your citizens on what to do, how to do stuff.
That sucks because I hate that shit.
Yeah, and it's not a huge part of the game. It's not a mini game per se. Like you have to do some of it.
I quit playing Fallout 4 because of the Farmville shit that you have to do in that one.
It's not. I thought it's executed way better than Fallout 4 is. I think it is very akin to like a Civilization type thing.
Ugh.
But to be fair, you could play the first one, which is a great game, and if that turns you off from the second one, don't even have to play it.
I love the first one so far, but to be fair, I haven't really experienced a whole lot of the game.
But
It's good.
so that all happens, and it's really cool. Also, I think the characters are all really well done. I don't like Miss Oliver or Drippy Nose or anything like that from the first game. They're different. I think the game still has like a lot of the same whimsy and like bright colors, and like all the lands are very like in the first game. It was very cool when you went from the like pirate side town to like where the dragon was to like the dead like undead like stuff.
How was the writing in the second game? Because like I thought, like just from what I experienced in like the beginning of the first one, the voice acting, especially with like Drippy in particular, was like incredible. Like his like dialogue and just like performance was fucking crazy. The Oliver kid sucked, but like the other ones were really good.
Evan he doesn't suck. He's not terrible, but he teeters on that line between like, oh, I'm kind of rooting for you, and being like a whiny little bitch. He walks that line. But all the other characters, especially what's her name? It's like Tani, I think is her name.
She's the girl with the pigtails.
Yeah, she's from like you meet her like 2 or 3 hours into the game, not that long. She's from like a pirate colony, and then she like decides to come with you. So she's not like there's 3 main people. There's Evan, Roland, who is like another like royalty person. I don't want to get into it. It's kind of a spoiler as to what he is. And then Tani, who's like not like at all with them. So they're kind of like whiny like bitches like some of the time. Like not Roland so much, but Evan definitely sometimes like he's too overly optimistic about everything. But Tani is like she's like a breath of fresh air. I would say, and she's also very independent of the other 2 characters, which is really cool because she has like a different upbringing and stuff. And then the world is just gorgeous. The first world was gorgeous. This one I think is even more. So there's not like the anime cutscenes like I was saying like there is in the first one, but it's still like I still think it holds up like fantastically well. My biggest problem with the game, as I've said, I guess I haven't said it, is that it's way too easy. Like it is so easy. Like I didn't die once. Like
Have you done the optional like challenge dungeons at all, or?
Well, that's the thing is I was doing them at first, and I was doing all the fetch questions, not all, but like some of them. But that leveled me up to a point where things were too easy, and I was like, I don't want to like if I'm just gonna mainline this game because I'm reviewing it, like and I want to finish it, like I don't want to waste time doing this. That it's gonna make even the hardest of the story fights even more easy, and it's just not like I don't know. It's just not like. And we were talking about it last week, where with the Dark Souls thing, where those games are hard and like lessen people's enjoyment, and this is like the reverse thing of that.
Yeah, here I am wishing there was a hard mode.
Like there should be a slider in the game.
Weren't there difficulty settings in the first game?
Yep, there was like a hard and
what
a
the
normal.
fuck?
Yeah, and they just took it out and made the game is so easy. Like it's laughable how easy it is. Like there are segments that like you're doing like in the very beginning of the game where you're doing like a stealth thing, and I fucked it up because I wasn't understanding how the like stealth stuff was supposed to work. I was just like getting spotted by somebody, and like literally you're supposed to die if you get caught. Like you get to do the fight and you're supposed to die when you get caught, and I just beat them because the game is just that easy. And like,
well, here's the thing though, is the games with combat like that, like I think of like Diablo 3. That game is easy as piss. Like, but I love it because it's fun to play.
It's really fun to play, but like
I think I could fucking God, if I could talk. I think I could forgive it if it is fun, because I think hack and slash combat, that being hard is better served in like a FromSoft game.
I agree with that. And there's like even a point like where in some hack and slash games where you reach a point where it's like you've gotten so far that you feel like you should be able to shit on just everything. So it's like you almost expect to be able to just
being
plow
a
through
god
fights
is like
that
kind of the appeal almost.
Right, like with Devil May
sometimes.
Cry games almost. It's like you get to a point where like you expect to be able to just shit on every enemy that you come across.
But I understand that being an issue.
my
Especially
biggest
if
issue
it
is
was
that
different before.
my biggest issue with that is that there's cool systems involved in the battle where like the Higglebees or whatever the fuck they're called, and like the way you equip weapons and stuff like that would matter if the game was hard.
Okay,
but I
then
don't.
That's an issue.
I don't have to care about them. It's like if you drop Witcher down like far enough that way, like if you play Witcher on the hardest difficulty, potions matter.
Yeah, that's not good. If you can't differentiate
Like, you
different
don't-
enemy types
you-
because like it doesn't matter, then yeah, that's bad.
You don't engage with the systems enough. And like I don't know, they should patch it a hard mode. Like real
I think
talk.
they should. As
Like
well.
they like just literally you don't have to do like the attacks the enemies have are interesting and like you have to differentiate them, but like you can just brute force your way through it. If they just
all they have to do is bump
like-
the damage.
like,
now.
That's
literally-
kind of how Inquisition was, though. It's
Yeah.
like party composition or like positioning doesn't matter unless you're playing on Nightmare.
yeah, and like and that's fine if you don't want to do that, but like in an RPG where like that is one of the enjoyments I'm getting out of the RPG combat is that I'm min-maxing my party is like I don't know. It's just it's a bummer. Especially in the first game. The first game wasn't like hard by any means, but it was like challenging at times. Like there was stuff I don't know. It's just a bummer. It's also completely not related to the first game at all. Like I said that already, I think. But like you do not have to play the first game to play this game.
I'm
at
just
all.
gonna play the first one and
You should,
pretend I played the
like,
second one.
But like it's I even through I was very negative about the easy stuff. It is really good. Like the game is still really fun, and I highly recommend it. A lot shorter. The first game's like 80 hours, probably, right, Drew? Well, you would know how long the first Ni no Kuni was.
I did a lot of grinding in that game, so I put like 90 hours in it. But
Yeah, it's probably like 60, 70 hours in it. This game,
CJ, I tell you what, I promise you I will finish Ni no Kuni if you finish Persona 5.
not gonna happen.
okay. By when? By E3.
All right, by E3, I will finish Ni no Kuni if you finish Persona 5.
All right, let's
Even though that's
also,
like
to
kind
be
of a
fair,
shitty deal
shake
because
on
like
it.
I have way more gameplay to get through than you do.
Also, well, and also you
Shake
do
on it.
something every day. CJ,
You're leaving
does
him
not.
hanging.
Fuck you.
Embarrassing.
It's like I'm getting shit on in this deal, but
You fucking made it up.
I mean, you made the E3 stipulation.
All right, when by? You can make up the by.
All right, let's see. When is E3?
June, mid-June.
All right, E3 is not that bad. I'll go with E E3.
All right,
All
shake
right.
on it. All right, a deal has been made. You are our witnesses,
All right.
and this
If
is
we aren't finished with Ni no Kuni and Persona 5, then
then we have to do something poor.
all right.
What are you doing, David? I don't like that.
Eat a habanero
Stretch.
pepper.
All right, I'll eat a habanero pepper. Fine.
You have to play a video game with me on PC if you don't.
Oh god,
Whoa.
no! I'll rather eat the
Pick
pepper.
something old so his
I actually
his garbage
like
can can
trying
run.
to
It.
get more into PC stuff here soon, especially.
You fucking say that, but nobody plays with me.
All right.
Everybody bought
I got a thing to
PCs.
tell you personally tomorrow. I'll tell you guys about it tomorrow.
Okay.
All right, man.
Alright. Did you
Well,
get a
this has
dick
been.
implant?
What? Why are we stretching this out more? Stop.
End the show.
This has been the Current Gaming Podcast. My name is Charles Wade. You can find me on Twitter at Charles Wade. You can find the show on Twitter at _. Drew, where can the people find you?
On the Twitter at Trophy Pops. Catch me on a stream every now and again.
Also, we stream Sea of Thieves, just didn't talk about it, so that kind of gives you a picture of what we thought.
That was a good stream. Watch it.
Yeah, just watch it. We don't need to
Is it
talk
though?
about it.
Where can people find you, David?
My guy Dave on Twitter, but it's fine if you don't follow me.
All right, cool. Aaron, where can
It's
everybody
a
find you?
shitty Twitter.
I don't fucking do nothing on social media, but if you wanted to look, it'd be Aaron M. Weeks on Twitter.
And Cheyenne.
I'm Poop Flowers on Twitter.
Cool. This has been the Current Gaming Podcast, episode 46, and peace.